In this video, we'll help you set up AudioCipher on your Windows device. After purchase, you'll receive a downloadable zip folder. I have it here in my downloads. Let's begin by clicking on it and selecting Extract All. In this folder, you'll see that we have the Windows installer, as well as a README file that explains how the app works, and an AUCI file. This is a collection of audio and MIDI files that can be loaded into AudioCipher, and you can use them for your projects whether you're running AudioCipher as a standalone application or a plugin. Let's begin by double-clicking the installer. If you receive a security message, click More Info and select Run Anyway. And then proceed through the installation process, and be sure to leave everything set to the default file paths. Once the installation is complete, you can go ahead and close. Now that the installation process is complete, you've received AudioCipher as a standalone application, and you've received a VST3 file. If you were an AudioCipher user prior to installing this latest version, your VST3 file will update automatically. Let's take a quick look at where that VST3 file is stored. So begin by opening this PC and then go into your C drive. And then here you'll want to choose the Program Files folder that corresponds to the type of Windows operating system you're running, so either 64 or 32-bit. I'm running with a 64-bit, so let's open this one, and you'll want to go into Common Files, and now you'll see this VST3 folder here, and a new AudioCipher Technologies folder that contains your VST3 plugin file. Let's set up AudioCipher as a VST3 plugin in FL Studio. If you were an AudioCipher user before installing the latest version, your VST3 file will update automatically, but we still recommend doing a scan to make sure that the latest version can be detected by FL. To do that, click Options at the top and select Manage Plugins. You'll notice on the left side of this window, FL gives you a directory of file paths that it will scan. So we're most concerned with the Common Files VST3 folder, and you'll see that FL is going to scan both the 32 and 64-bit versions of this. So at the top, click Find Installed Plugins, and once the scan is complete, you should see AudioCipher in the list here. Now let's add AudioCipher as a MIDI instrument. I have the channel rack open, and I'm going to press the plus sign, and then select More Plugins, and then double-click AudioCipher to add it. You'll also see that I have an instance of GMS loaded up here. I just have a basic pad set up, so that way we can pull MIDI information out of AudioCipher and load it into GMS to get a feel for how it might sound in the context of a song. To generate MIDI with AudioCipher, open the MIDI generator, and I'm going to use chord mode here so we can put together a chord progression. I'll just adjust some of these settings. Let's say we want some chords in F minor, and let's make them 7th chords, and we'll enter a word here. I'll just type music so we can convert that word into a set of MIDI notes, and we can play this back in AudioCipher using the playback tool. And now we can drag the MIDI file straight out of AudioCipher by clicking and holding on the drag to MIDI button, and then I'm just going to drop this straight on the GMS track here. And now we can open the piano roll to take a look at the notes that were generated by AudioCipher and play it back through the GMS synth. Keep in mind you don't need to use exactly what AudioCipher generates. We recommend using it as a starting point to inspire new ideas or help you explore new chord voicings that you may not have considered otherwise. So in this case, maybe we like the chords, but we want to make some adjustments, maybe open the voicing a little bit to give it some more depth. I'm going to use the selector tool and maybe highlight some of these lower notes, and then I'll lower those an octave so that these serve more as a bass line while we have the chords playing above them. If you're happy with your edits, we recommend exporting the MIDI and then saving it to your device so that you can add it to a card in AudioCipher so you can come back to it later and repurpose it as needed. You can do this here in the piano roll by clicking the drop-down arrow in the top left corner. If you go to File, you can select Export as MIDI file. We recommend saving this in a dedicated MIDI folder on your device so it's easy to locate. So before we pull that MIDI file into AudioCipher, let's create a new card. I've returned here to the MIDI generator where you can see everything is still configured. So let's go ahead and create a card for the word music. Click on the new card button down at the bottom, and now you'll see here in the card view we have a card titled music. You'll notice there's a MIDI file here already. This is the original chord progression that AudioCipher generated, but let's go ahead and upload the one that we just edited. To do that, click Add Files in the top right, and then click here to do a quick search for the MIDI file. I've titled my file FL Studio MIDI, and we'll just need to select that and click Open. And now you'll see that MIDI file listed in the MIDI files list here. You can do the same thing for audio. So maybe we want to export the chord progression as it's played through this GMS synth. So I'm just going to add it here in the arrangement and then use the keyboard shortcut Control-R. And again, we recommend exporting this and saving it in a dedicated audio folder on your device so it's easy to locate. Now that we've saved the audio file, we can come back to AudioCipher and do the same thing we just did with the MIDI import. So we'll click Add Files and do a quick search. And then now that I've tracked down my audio file, I'm going to click Open, and you'll see that it has been added here to the audio files list. We can play it back using the play button on the left, or delete it using the X button on the right.